Hello, it's Mr. Toops, the Jedi of Believe, and today we're doing your Unit 7B test review over factoring and solving quadratics. Okay, we're going to start with number one. If you see equivalent to, you are going to store for X, okay? So we're going to store 2 for X, type this in. One of the answer choices will have the same matching value. Remember, when you store 2 for X, you're basically doing this. You're replacing the 2 with X, and you're getting the answer. If it's equivalent, it's going to give you the same answer. So let's go to our calculator. We're going to do 2, Control VAR is store, and then we're going to store X. Now then, we're going to type in our equation, which is 8x squared. You do not type in the f of x. 8x squared minus 18x minus 5, minus 18x minus 5. Hit enter, and we get negative 9. I'm going to go back to my paper. This is equal to negative 9. One of these choices will be negative 9. I'm going to try B first, okay? So I'm going to go in and do B. So parentheses, and it's 4x minus 1. Close parentheses, and 2x plus 5. Close parentheses, hit enter. Notice it's 63 in it. This is not the answer. Let's try D. So you're just randomly picking the problems you want to pick in. So parentheses, 4x plus 1, and then 2x minus 5. 2x minus 5, and hit enter, and you get the negative 9. Notice how they match up, okay? So this is going to match up to this. The answer is D. Okay. Number 2. Which of the factors could create an expression equal to 4x squared minus 25? So 2 of these are going to be factors. If you graph a parabola, the factors are going to cross the parabola at the x-intercepts. So what we're going to do to this is we're going to graph this parabola, then graph all of these. The lines that cross the parabola at the x-intercept will be the factors, okay? So we're going to go to our calculator. We're going to go to graph, home and B. And then we're going to type in 4x squared minus 25. Notice the minus 25 is going to be our y-intercept, so we're not going to see the bottom, but we do see the 2 x-intercepts. Now then, you just start typing in the equations. Hit tab. So I hit tab. Jiminy crickets. Hit escape. B. Menu 3, 1. I'm going to graph a function. So I'm going to graph 5x minus 2. Hit enter. And notice the red line. I want it to cross here or here, don't I? So I'm going to keep graphing my equations. 4x plus 2. 4x plus 2 does not cross. The next one is 2x minus 5. 2x minus 5. 2x minus 5. Notice that it goes right through there, doesn't it? That's one of the answers, okay? So I'm going to go to my paper. The 2x minus 5 works. Let's try the opposite of 2x minus 5. Let's try 2x plus 5. So I'm going to go to my calculator, hit tab, hit our menu 3-1 actually, menu, graph, function, and then 2x plus 5, hit enter. Notice that the green and the pink lines go through the parabola at the x-intercepts. So those are the 2 answers, okay? So I'm going to go back to my paper. This one and this one are the factors. The way you would do this by hand is, notice these are both perfect square roots. So the square root of 4x squared would be 2x and 5, or the square root of 25 would be 5. And since it's a difference of squares, you're going to have opposite signs, okay? Which is where this 2x minus 5 and 2x plus 5 comes from. Okay, we're going to do this. The solution of this parabola is the x-intercept, and we want the negative solution. So we're going to graph and trace to the x-axis, okay? So we're going to graph this and trace it to the x-axis. So I'm going to go to my calculator. I'm going to hit delete, delete, delete. Think of a bad thought. Get that out of your mind. Menu 3, 1. And then let's type in x squared minus 2x minus 24. Hit, 24, not 27. Hit enter. And I want this intercept, don't I? So I'm going to do menu, graph trace 1. I'm here, and I need to go to the x-intercept on the negative side. I'm going to keep hitting the up button until I get there. The 0 is -4 in it. So -4 is my negative solution. So go back to the paper. -4 is the negative solution, okay? The next one. This graph opens down, doesn't it? That means the x squared has to be negative. These two are wrong. So if the x squared is positive, it opens up. If the x squared is negative, it opens down. I'm going to try this one right here, and I want my zeros to be right at -5 and right at 1, don't I? So let's try choice C, because this parabola looks wider than the parent function, and the 1/2 is going to make it wider. So I'm going to go to my calculator. I'm going to hit delete, delete, delete. And then I'm going to make my window back to normal. So menu, window, and then standard is 5. And now my window's back to normal. Menu 3, 1, or tab to graph. And let's graph negative control divide 1/2. And then x squared minus 2x. And then plus 2. Not plus 5, plus 2. And notice that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right at -5 and right before -1, my vertex should match up. Menu 5, 1. I'm going to trace to the top to match the vertex up. The maximum is at -2, 4. And look, -2, 4 is the vertex, isn't it? So C is the correct answer. So you're looking at your x-intercepts and make sure your vertex matches up on this one. Okay, what values of x give the solution to this? You're going to graph and get the x-intercepts by tracing, right? So you're going to graph this and trace to the x-intercepts. So we're going to go to our calculator, hit delete, 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 hit menu 3, 1, or tab, and then we're going to graph 5x squared plus 8x plus 3, hit enter, and notice we have two zeros real close together, don't we? Menu 5, 1, and I'm going to hit the left arrow button. There's one of my zeros. One of my zeros is -0.6. And let's get to the other zero. There's my minimum. My other zero is -1. Let me go back to my paper. So -1. If you change this to a fraction, it would be -3/5. Okay, but both of these would be the zeros. Okay, continuing on to number 6. What are the solutions to the equation? So this right here, this equation will not factor, and notice it's not solved for 0. I taught my students draw a bar through the equal sign. Anything on the right, you got to move it across and flip the sign. So we're going to graph x squared plus 12x. The opposite of -22 is a plus 22. Okay, so let's graph this. So we're going to go to our calculator, delete, 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 hit enter, hit menu 3, 1, or tab, and let's graph x squared plus 12x, and then plus 22. Hit enter. And notice our two intercepts are right here, aren't they? We got to trace to them. So menu 5, 1, and I'm going to hit the left arrow till I get to my 0, which is right here, -2.26. So I'm going to go to here, write down -2.26. One of these is going to be -2.26, and then keep tracing until you get to the other 0. Notice I did not want my vertex. I wanted my 0, 9.74. So -9.74. Now then, we got to type these in, and one of them's going to work, okay? So let's just start with D. So -12 plus the square root of 22. Remember, you're going to do -12 plus the square root of 22 and negative 12 minus the square root of 22. That's what that plus minus symbol is. You add one and you subtract one. So let's try the negative 12. So I'm going to go to my calculator. I need to go to calculate, home and A, and then I'm going to do negative 12 plus the square root of 22. To get the square root, Control X squared, 22. Put 22 in here. Backspace up, hit enter. Jiminy crickets. Control X squared, 22. And notice it's not what one of our decimals is, right? So let's try choice C. So I'm going to do 6 plus Control X squared. And then I'm going to type in 22 again, hit enter. 10.9, that's not it. So let's go to B, negative 6 plus Control X squared. And then we got 14, hit enter. And is that one of them, negative 2.25? Negative 2.25, that's going to be rounding off to that, isn't it? So this right here is the right answer. If I do the other one, I'm going to get negative 9.74. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit the up button twice. See how it's blue? I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to change that plus to a minus. Now then, if I hit enter, I should get the other zero, negative 9.74, okay? Remember, this 5 was rounded to get that answer on it. So these decimals match up to the answer choice. So you're just going to have to be patient and match these decimals up to the one that works, okay? Number 7, which expressions are equivalent to? Remember, if you see this, you are storing 2 for x. You're going to type this in. Right now, the answer choices, 2 of them are going to work, okay? So let's go to our calculator. We're going to do 2, Control VARX. Jiminy crickets, I got to type in the x. Okay, got it in. Now then I'm going to type in the problem. 5x squared plus 15x minus 30. Hit enter, and I get 20. So I'm going to go to my paper, and I'm going to write down 20. 2 of these answer choices will be 20. 2 of them will be 20. I don't think we're going to pull out a negative, so let's try choice A. Okay, so I'm going to go to my calculator, and I'm going to type in A. 5 parentheses x squared minus 5x plus 6, close the parentheses, enter, and I get 0. Okay, so that doesn't work. Let's try choice. Let's see if we take 5 out. Let's try choice C. So 5, we're going to do choice C. So look at your paper. 5 parentheses x squared minus 5x plus 6. Close the parentheses. Now plus 60 plus 6. Enter. And I get 0 again. 5 parentheses x squared minus 5x. One of those should be a minus 6. Okay, so go back to your paper and make this one a plus and this one a minus. Okay, so on your paper, C is going to have this. So let's type this in. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to change this plus to a minus. And I'm going to change this to a plus. Now then I'm going to hit enter, and notice I get 30. It should be plus 3x. So one of them doesn't work. And then let's just factor this. I'll need to redo this. Okay, so go back to your paper. This one is messed up. Okay, so we take the 5 out. This should be a plus 3. So let's do this one. Okay, so we're going to make this 3. So on your paper, it should be a 3 there. Let me copy it, I guess I should say first. And then let's make this a 3. Hit enter. And notice we get 5x squared. We should get 20. Let's just do this by hand. Okay, so this is kind of messed up here. We're going to do this by hand. But you would store, and 2 of these would match up. So if I have 5x squared plus 15x minus 30, I could divide these by 5. And I'll get 5 parentheses x squared plus 3x minus 6. 5 parentheses x squared plus 3x minus 6 should be the same as this. Did I type this in right? 5x squared plus 15x minus 30. 5. Oh, I forgot to put the x squared. So let's put the x squared. Sorry about that. So go up twice. Hit enter and make this a Jiminy Crickets. Make this a squared. Now then hit enter and boom, I get my 20, okay? So this one right here is going to equal 20. The other one that's going to work, if we do this, the factors of 6 that's subtracting give me 3. There are none. This should be 25. We need to redo number 7. We're going to go to number 8, okay? So I will redo number 7. Number 7, though, this should be a 25. This should end up being a 5, and then this is going to factor to x minus. Oh, this is really messed up here, okay? So 2 of these are going to work on your test if you store them, okay? Number 8, sorry this is messed up, okay? Number 8, you're just going to store and match up your store values, okay? Number 8, the zeros of this function. Remember, to get the zeros, we're going to graph and trace to the x-intercepts. So we're going to graph and trace this, okay? So go to your calculator, hit home, and then B to graph, and then I need to delete, delete, delete. I'm going to get my window back to normal. Okay, and then I'm going to graph x squared minus hit menu 3-1 or tab, x squared minus 6x minus 16. Hit enter, and I need to get these 2 zeros. So menu 5-1, and I'm going to go to the left 0, and I got -2. So I'm going to go to my paper. One of the zeros is -2. Now then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to type in 7, enter. Notice that my graph trace went to the 7. Now then, I'm just going to keep hitting the right arrow button, and my other zero's 8. Okay, so my 2 zeros are -2 and 8, and usually they put those in braces because it's a solution set. Now then, I'm going to show you this. The factors are the opposites. Let's factor this because this isn't hard. The factors of 16 that subtract to give me 6 are 8 and 2. The 8 needs to be negative, the 2's plus, and my factors would be x minus 8 and x plus 2. The factors and the zeros are opposite. Okay? So my factors would be x minus 8 and x plus 2. So do you see how the factors and the zeros are opposites? Okay, the next one. On this one, we want the factor. So remember, we're going to graph this, and the factor is going to cross at the x-axis, okay? This was pretty simple, though, because I could just factor this. X squared minus 3x minus 18. I need the factors of 18 that subtract and give me 3. That's going to be 6 and 3, aren't they? The 6 needs to be minus, the 3's plus. My factors are going to be x minus 6 and x plus 3. Now then, let's graph this and we'll show this, okay? So I'm going to go to my calculator, delete, 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 menu 3-1, hit x squared minus 3x, x squared minus 3x minus 8, not negative, minus 18. hit enter, and then I'm going to hit menu 3, 1, and I'm going to type in, let's do x plus 2. Notice the x plus 2 doesn't cross. And we said our two factors were x plus 6 or x minus 6 and x plus 3. So let's try the x minus 3. Hit menu 3, 1. X minus 3 is choice A. Notice it goes through 3 because the opposite of minus 3 is plus 3, right? So our factor is going to end up being x minus 6. Hit tab, x minus 6, not times, x minus 6. And notice the x minus 6 goes there. The opposite of minus 6 is plus 6, isn't it? Okay, so my two factors, that x minus 6 is right here, and the x minus 6 went through that factor, did it? Okay, on the last one, if you want the solution set, you want the x-intercepts. So we need to solve this for 0, draw a bar through the equal sign. We're going to graph 2x squared minus 15, and that plus x will change to a minus x. So I'm going to graph this and trace to the x-intercepts. Okay, so go to your calculator, hit delete, 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 and then let's menu 3, 1 or tab, and then 2x squared minus 15, and then minus x. Remember, the x is going to flip because we're graphing it. Hit enter, then menu 3, 1, or Jiminy Crickets escape. Menu 5, 1 to trace, and let's go left first. So I'm going to go up here. One of my zeros is negative 2.5. So I'm going to go to here. Negative 2.5 is one of my zeros. I'm going to go back to my calculator. Notice 1, 2. I'm going to hit 2 and enter. My graph trace goes to the 2. Now then I can just hit the right arrow button, and 3 is the other zero. So negative 2.5 and 3 are the zeros. Remember, the factors would be opposite of this. Remember, you are amazing. You are created to do wonderful things. You're going to do wonderful on this test. Your teacher will go over problem number 7 with you. So don't worry about number 7. We'll do that one with you. And you're going to do wonderful on your test. Remember to always believe.